The stars shattered like glass under the weight of a forbidden whisper, and in that instant, Queen Elara knew her daughter's life and the fate of an entire galaxy hung by a thread of ancient prophecy. In the crystalline halls of the Etherean Palace, suspended in the void above the swirling nebula of Zorath Prime, the air hummed with the low vibration of quantum shields. Queen Elara, her iridescent scales shimmering under the artificial glow of 1,000 captured suns, paced the throne room. Her crown, woven from threads of dark matter, pulsed with the rhythm of her anxious heart. It had been centuries since the last prophecy stirred the Etherean Empire, a vast network of worlds bound by telepathic laws and unbreakable alliances. But tonight, as the twin moons aligned in a rare eclipse, something felt wrong, terribly, irrevocably wrong. Her daughter, Princess Lyra, barely 10 cycles old, played in the alcove nearby. Lyra's tiny form, a delicate blend of ethereal blue skin and glowing antennae, darted between holographic toys that mimicked the flight of interstellar comets. "Mom," she called out suddenly, her voice a soft chime that cut through the hum like a blade. Elara froze, turning to face the child. Lyra's eyes, wide and luminous, fixed on the grand viewport overlooking the stars. "It's him," she whispered, pointing a trembling finger at the void. Elara's blood ran cold. Him? The word echoed in her mind, pulling at threads of memory she had long buried. The prophecy, spoken by the Oracle of Vale's Edge eons ago, foretold of a him from the forgotten worlds, a being of flesh and fire who would either unite the stars or unravel them. But prophecies were relics, dusty artifacts in an age of science and neural implants. Weren't they? She approached Lyra, kneeling to her level, her regal robes pooling like liquid starlight on the floor. "Who, my little one? Who is him?" Lyra didn't answer at first. Her antennae twitched, as if tuning into a frequency only she could hear. Then, with a certainty that belied her youth, she said, "The one from the red planet. The human. He's coming, Mom." And everything changes. But that was only the beginning. Elara's mind raced back to her own youth, when she had first heard the oracle's words during her coronation rite. "From the cradle of dust and war shall rise the marked one," the oracle had intoned, its voice a chorus of echoing voids. "He who bears the scar of forgotten gods. The child of queens shall see him first, and in her whisper the veil shall tear." Elara had dismissed it as myth, a tale to keep the Empire's subjects in awe. Humans were primitives, confined to their dying Earth and its scattered colonies, light years away from Etherean influence. What could one of them possibly mean to her? Yet now, as alarms blared through the palace, uninvited signals piercing the quantum shields, Elara wondered if the impossible had clawed its way into reality. Guards materialized from hidden alcoves, their energy lances humming to life. "Your Majesty," one barked, "an unidentified vessel approaches. Human signature. Armed, but hailing for parley." Parley? From humans? The Etherians had observed humanity from afar, their probes documenting the species' endless wars and fragile emotions. Contact was forbidden. Humans were too volatile, their hearts ruled by passion rather than the cool logic of telepathic bonds. Elara waved the guards aside and activated the viewport's magnification. There, against the nebula's glow, a sleek but battered ship emerged, human design, scarred from battles unknown. Its hull bore markings of the Terran Federation, but something about it felt ancient. As the ship docked, Elara felt a pull in her chest, a telepathic whisper, not her own. Lyra clung to her side, eyes never leaving the airlock. "He's scared, Mom," she murmured, "but brave, like the stories." What awaited them beyond that door would shatter every illusion Elara held dear. The airlock hissed open, releasing a gust of recycled oxygen tinged with the metallic scent of human machinery. Out stepped a man, tall, broad-shouldered, his face etched with lines of hardship under a mop of dark hair streaked with gray. He wore a worn flight suit, patched in places where plasma burns had scarred the fabric. But it was his eyes that struck Elara, deep brown, burning with a fire that no Etherean possessed. and on his left cheek a faint scar curved like a crescent moon, the mark of forgotten gods? I am Captain Elias Thorne, he said, his voice rough, human accent clipping the words. From Earth Colony Vega, 7. I come not as an invader, but as a refugee. My people, they're gone, wiped out by something you Etherians unleashed. Ilara's scales prickled. Unleashed? The Empire had no quarrels with humans. Explain yourself, human, she commanded, her voice amplified by the throne's neural enhancer. Guards flanked him, lances ready. Thorne's gaze flicked to Lyra, and for a moment his hardened expression softened. The child, she sees it, doesn't she? The connection. He raised a hand, revealing a holographic emitter on his wrist. With a flick, it projected an image, a swirling vortex of dark energy consuming a planet whole. This is what hit Vega 7. Your experiments, quantum rifts, tearing holes in space-time. It wasn't natural. It was you. Lyra gasped, stepping forward despite Ilara's restraining hand. No, Mom. It's not us. It's older. Her antennae glowed faintly, and Ilara felt a surge of images flood her mind, shared through their familial bond. Visions of ancient Etherians meddling with forbidden tech, awakening something primordial. But Thorne wasn't done. I survived because of this. He touched the scar on his cheek, a relic from Earth's old wars. It shields me from the rifts, and now it's leading me here, to you. None of them were prepared for the truth that Scar hid. Ilara ordered Thorne confined to the guest quarters under heavy guard, of course. As the palace returned to its uneasy hum, she retreated to her private chambers, Lyra in tow. The girl's whispers echoed in her ears, stirring doubts she couldn't silence. Why him, Lyra? What do you see that I don't? Lyra climbed onto the bed, her small hands tracing patterns in the air that manifested as faint holograms. He's the bridge, Mom, between our logic and their hearts. The prophecy says he mends the tear or widens it. Ilara sighed, her mind linking to the Empire's neural archives. She queried the ancient texts, pulling up fragments of the Oracle's vision. There it was, the marked one, born of human fire, to stand beside the child of stars. But why now? The quantum experiments Thorne mentioned, they were real, but classified. Decades ago, Etherian scientists had probed the veil between dimensions, seeking unlimited energy. One rift had escaped control, sealed at great cost. Had it resurfaced? A soft chime interrupted her thoughts, the council summoning her. High, Advisor Kale, his form a towering mass of crystalline armor, appeared via hologram. Majesty, the human ship scans positive for rift residue. He's telling the truth about Vega 7. But there's more. Our outer sensors detect anomalies, rifts opening across the border sectors. Ilara's heart clenched. If the rifts were spreading, the Empire could crumble. And the human? Kale's eyes narrowed. A liability, or perhaps a key. The prophecy aligns suspiciously. As the hologram faded, Ilara glanced at Lyra, who slept fitfully, murmuring him in her dreams. What if the child was right? What if Thorne was the fulfillment? But trusting a human could doom them all. Dawn broke over Zorith Prime, or what passed for dawn in the eternal night of space, as artificial lights mimicked the rise of a sun. Ilara visited Thorne's quarters, flanked by guards, but waving them back to allow privacy. He stood at the viewport, staring into the nebula, his posture weary yet defiant. Why come here? She asked, her voice softer than intended. Humans hate us. Call us star tyrants in your folklore. Thorne turned, his scar catching the light. Hate? Maybe. But desperation trumps hate. My colony, gone in a blink. Families, friends swallowed by that void. I traced the energy signature back to your space, and something pulled me, like a voice in my head. Telepathy? Humans weren't capable. Unless the scar. Ilara stepped closer, her senses extending. She felt it, a faint resonance, linking him to the Etherian network. The relic on your face. Where did it come from? He hesitated, eyes clouding with memory. Earth's ancient ruins. Dug up during the last war. They said it was alien tech embedded in a meteor. Saved my life once before in a battle. Now it's whispering secrets. About you. About her. He nodded toward the door, where Lyra peeked in, defying orders. Mom, let me talk to him, Lyra pleaded. Ilara's instinct screamed no, but the prophecy's weight pressed down. Very well, but carefully. Lyra approached Thorn, her antennae extending like curious feelers. You're sad, she said simply, about the people you lost. Thorn knelt, meeting her gaze. Yeah, kid, sad doesn't cover it. Angry, too. But you remind me of my daughter. She was about your age when... His voice trailed off, but the emotion hit Ilara like a wave, raw, unfiltered human grief. Etherians suppressed such feelings with logic circuits. But this, it stirred something dormant in her. Why Saw next changed everything. As Lyra touched Thorn's scar, a burst of energy rippled through the room. Visions flooded their minds. Ancient Etherians, not as benevolent rulers, but as conquerors, ripping open rifts to harvest energy from parallel realms. The forgotten gods weren't mythical, they were beings from those realms, sealed away after a cataclysmic war. And the scar? A fragment of their essence, bonded to Thorn during his dig. The prophecy isn't about unity, Thorn gasped, pulling back. It's a warning. Your ancestors created the rifts, and now they're breaking free. Ilara reeled. If true, the Empire's foundation was a lie. We must verify this. To the archives. But as they moved, alarms wailed again. Rifts were opening within the palace itself. Chaos erupted in the corridors. Guards fired lances at swirling voids that spat shadowy tendrils, pulling Etherians into nothingness. Ilara grabbed Lyra, shielding her as Thorn drew a concealed plasma pistol, smuggled past scans somehow. We need to get to your core reactor, he shouted over the din. That's where the original rift was sealed. I can feel it. Ilara hesitated. Trust a human with the heart of the palace? But Lyra's voice cut through. Mom, it's him. The prophecy is true. With no choice, they ran, dodging collapsing hulls and screaming courtiers. Kale met them at a junction, his face twisted in betrayal. Majesty, the human is the catalyst. The council orders his termination. Ilara's eyes flashed. Stand down, advisor, or face the queen's wrath. Kale lunged, but Thorn fired, stunning him. No time for politics, Thorn growled. They pressed on, the rifts growing. Whispers echoed, voices of the forgotten gods, promising vengeance. In the reactor chamber, a massive orb of contained energy pulsed erratically. Tendrils of darkness clawed at its barriers. The seals failing, Ilara whispered, her knowledge of the tech confirming it. Thorn approached, his scar glowing. The relic can reinforce it, but it needs a conduit. Someone to link minds, human emotion, with Etherian logic. Lyra stepped forward. Me, the child of queens. No. Ilara cried, fear gripping her for the first time in cycles. The thought of losing her daughter. It was unbearable, a human-like terror invading her composed mind. But Lyra was resolute. It's why I see him, Mom. The prophecy chose us. Thorn nodded, placing a hand on Lyra's shoulder. Together they touched the orb. Energy surged, visions exploding. The ancient war Etherians stealing power, gods imprisoned. Thorn's grief fueled the seal, his raw emotion mending what logic alone couldn't. The rift stabilized, shrinking back. But at a cost, Lyra collapsed, her antennae dim. Ilara rushed to her, cradling the child. Lyra, please. Thorn knelt beside them. She's alive. The link drained her, but she'll recover. The gods are resealed for now. As relief washed over Ilara, a deeper truth dawned. The Empire's sins couldn't stay buried. Change was coming. But that was only the beginning of the real storm. With the immediate threat contained, Ilara convened an emergency council. Thorn stood beside her, an unlikely ally, his presence sending murmurs through the assembly. The human speaks truth, she declared, projecting the visions for all to see. Our ancestors' hubris created this. We must atone. Outrage erupted. Advisors accused her of treason, of succumbing to human influence. Kale, recovered but restrained, sneered. You dismantle our empire for a prophecy and a primitive? Ilara's voice thundered. No, I'd save it, by forging alliances, not isolation. Thorn added, humans have heart. You have tech. Together, we close the rifts for good. But dissent brewed. That night, as Lyra rested, assassins struck, loyal to Kale, slipping through shadows. Thorn fought them off, his pistol blazing, but one grazed Ilara's side, drawing iridescent blood. In the aftermath, pain sharpening her resolve, Ilara confronted Kale in the dungeons. Why betray us? He laughed bitterly. The gods promise power. Through the rifts, they whispered to me, the prophecy is a lie. Thorn widens the tear, not mends it. Doubt crept in. Was Thorn the savior or the doom? Lyra, awakening, sensed her mother's turmoil. Trust your heart, Mom. Like he does. Ilara nodded, but the seed was planted. As rifts flickered anew, she wondered, had they invited the enemy within? The Empire teetered on the brink. Reports flooded in, colonies vanishing into voids, fleets mobilized against phantom threats. Ilara and Thorn delved deeper into the archives, Lyra's insights guiding them. They uncovered hidden logs. The original experiment, led by Ilara's great-grandmother, Queen Vesper. She had bargained with the gods, trading souls for immortality tech. Horrible, Ilara murmured, horror twisting her features. Thorn's hand brushed hers, a human gesture comforting. We all have dark pasts. Earth's wars nearly ended us. But we learn. Their eyes met, a spark igniting. Human emotion versus alien logic, blending in unexpected ways. Lyra smiled from afar, her bond sensing the shift. But betrayal struck again. Kale escaped, rallying dissidents. He opened a controlled rift, summoning a god's avatar, a colossal shadow entity, wreaking havoc on Zoreth Prime. The palace shook as the avatar rampaged. Ilara, Thorn, and Lyra raced to confront it. This ends now, Thorn said, scar blazing. In the throne room, the avatar loomed, its voice a cacophony. The marked one serves us, not you. Thorn faltered. What? Kale emerged, grinning. The relic? Planted by us centuries ago. You're our vessel, human. The turning point hit, like a supernova. Thorn wasn't the savior. He was the Trojan horse. Agony tore through Thorn. Memories resurfaced. The dig on Earth, guided by whispers. The scar's protection, a lie to deliver him here. No, he whispered, collapsing. I won't. The avatar lunged, but Lyra screamed, her telepathy amplifying. Fight it. You're more than their tool. Ilara joined, linking minds. Together, they poured emotion and logic into Thorn, severing the god's hold. Thorn rose, channeling the relic's power against the avatar. It shrieked, dissolving. Kale fled into a rift, but the damage was done. The Empire knew the truth now, broadcast by Lyra's bond. In the quiet after Ilara faced Thorn, you could have doomed us, but I chose not to, he replied, because of you, and her. A bond formed, fragile yet strong. The escalation peaked as rifts multiplied galaxy-wide. Ilara declared reform. Dismantle the old tech, seek human alliances. Thorn became ambassador, his scar a symbol of redemption. But gods don't forget. Whispers persisted, testing loyalties. Lyra grew stronger, her visions clearer. The prophecy isn't over, Mom. It's evolving. One final confrontation loomed. On Vale's edge, the Oracle's home. They journeyed there, a fleet behind. The Oracle awaited, a being of pure energy. The child whispered true. The marked one chooses. A massive rift opened, gods pouring forth. Thorn stood at the edge. I choose unity. He dove in, scar igniting, sealing from within. Ilara's cry echoed. Elias! Lyra held her. He's mending it. With heart. The rift closed, gods banished. In the end, peace reigned. Ilara ruled wiser, Lyra her heir. Humans and Etherians linked. But in quiet moments, Ilara gazed at stars, whispering, thank you, him. And the galaxy remembered the whisper that saved it all.